spending time alive.
Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode number 74, brought to you by the Outright Geekery podcast network at outrightgeekery.com. We are also currently live across all of social media for the first time ever. We are on Facebook Live, we're on Twitch, Periscope, and as always, right here on YouTube via the S&B network. Make sure you guys go ahead and smash that like button, share out the link. If you want to jump into this interactive live chat, you got to join us on YouTube. So find the S&B network, come subscribe to the channel, get into that live chat. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Balls JP.
And I'm Dauber. What's happening?
Got a live audience tonight. Man, I'm trying to figure this out because we got comments coming in from all across the board. But we got JJ Banks hanging out, says, where is Boogie and the guys? Cody Branch is here. Joe Martin's here. Tajon Washington is here, as he is every week. Guys, bear with me. I'm trying to figure this thing out because we're broadcasting all over the place. I'm trying to figure out these comments, but you know how it is. Come hang out on the S&B network. Let's talk UT football. Man, tonight was a rough one. You got a 30-minute weather delay to start the game. It's senior day. You're expecting some excitement for these seniors, Juwan Jennings, just across the board. So many guys that have been through the ringer, and the weather kind of spoiled that for them. And then just a slow start, but Tennessee takes care of business. But then we get another weather delay. Just a boring game. Am I wrong for saying that? Boring game.
No, I'll agree with you there. It killed momentum. And then the fact that the offense kind of, we got going there for a little bit, but then we kind of sputtered, and a lot of excitement sort of in the early part of the game, and then just fizzled out. And then with the weather, it was. I wanted to put the pedal on the floor and not take it off, but some excitement tonight. I think the defense played well. Man, Gray. That's what I've been waiting on all year from him.
Yes, sir.
I've said before, he's like watching a video game. If he makes that first move and makes somebody miss, gets in the open field, man, dude is quick. But
you said it early in the game. He's making a guy miss, then he's getting north-south. And that's what we talked about early in the season. He's dancing and juking and jiving too much. But tonight, it's north-south.
Yeah, it's making too many moves in the backfield was what he was doing early in the year. But it's funny, and we talked about it, texting back and forth, just the way that the running backs have been used really this whole season. We had Chandler having a couple of good games. Jordan had a good game against Bama, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And then they don't follow it up back-to-back weeks. I don't know if it's, these guys maybe need to hit, a certain number of plays to kind of get in a flow and a rhythm, or what. But all three of them have talent. It's not like there's one that's any better. They all have different qualities that make them usable and an asset to the team. But man, I don't get it why we can't consistently have good production out of the backfield.
Yeah, it's strange. I know. That's what we was talking about. It's I was texting Snake there, and we was talking about it, and it's like
he texted me during the games for some weird reason.
It's like that Gray during the bowl game, we won't even see him. Probably anyway.
I want to tell you guys,
it's just been weird. I mean, this whole season has been weird, personnel wise and everything. It's just been weird. But here we are, 7-5. I said get 6-6. So we're one game better. So even though that we should be 9-3.
Yeah, we're it was funny, VolQuest talking about it this week, and they went back and they shared their season predictions. And if you go back and watch the season predictions for Talkin VAWLS, we're all right here. We're right where we said we would be. 7-5. Chance to win 8. Could be 6-6. Could win 5 games. You know, we didn't know, but we are what we thought we were. We just didn't expect to come through the path that we came to get here. Guys, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. Share out the link. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Across all of social media. I got comments coming in. Bryant Rockwell says hi from Facebook. The comments are flooding in across all of social media. But if you want to get in on this thing, you want to drop super chats, you want your comments read on air, make sure you join us on YouTube via the S&B network. Man, did you guys feel almost sorry for Jarrett Garantano tonight? You know, rough week for that kid. He bounced back last week, the last few weeks, and he earned his starting job back. And then he lost his grandmother Thanksgiving morning, man. And he's an emotional guy to begin with after the Missouri game. Very emotional, you know, almost in tears, talking about, I'm a Tennessee guy. I'm a Vol. I'll be back next year. And then he loses his grandmother Thanksgiving morning. And then just worst start possible. What was he like? 0 for 7 with an interception to start the game.
It was a horrible start to the game. I mean, yeah, the pick was bad, and then the ball was coming out of his hand late again. Wasn't really misreads like we saw earlier in the year, but he was off, and that's we've talked about it multiple times. He is a real cerebral guy, analyzes a lot of stuff. So yeah. I mean, I think he had maybe necessarily other things than football on his mind tonight. And then again, with the weather, the delay, that's, you know, you'd said right before kickoff when I texted about the delay, man, that's something else going in Vandy's favor. Because, you know, you kind of want them to get out there and use that energy for senior day and those guys, you know, feed off those guys. I was really hoping, you know, we'd get Jennings and Callaway involved early. I know with the weather pouring down there at the beginning, that really wasn't feasible. But the way Garantano started out, I mean, I think Chaney kind of reeled in a little bit of the playbook and kind of condensed it to focusing on the run. And of course, you know, Vandy, they weren't stopping it, so why go away from it?
Right.
It was very vanilla.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, I don't know what had happened if Gray hadn't broke off those 2 long touchdown runs. I mean, we're struggling for sure. So I don't know. And then I didn't like the way that Tennessee coached in the third quarter. I'll just come out and admit it.
It was very conservative. Very conservative.
Yeah.
It was get a win and let's get out of here.
Yeah, but
it's disappointing when we want to come out and just dog whip Vanderbilt.
Well,
because you're talking about 3 years of frustration, especially for these seniors. And that's why, you know, we were texting. First of all, good Lord, SEC Network, can you not communicate better? You know, you got a weather delay. You say it's going to be SEC alternate, and then we're having to find it on ESPN Network, and then the audio goes out, then the video goes out. How about you figure your things out? How about you communicate to your listeners? And I caught the tail end of the Juwan Jennings tackle on special teams, and then JB's like, no, he flat out stomped on a dude's head.
He did,
which is uncalled for. And I'm not trying to validate or defend the kid, but I think it was frustration. I think it's my last game in Neyland. I want to ball out, and he didn't get that opportunity. And I'm not defending it at all. Well, I'm just saying that
didn't give you right to stomp on a guy's head without his helmet on.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to him. You know, I mean,
was there a flag thrown?
No, there was no flag thrown. But I'm telling you, well, see, I'll be surprised if something doesn't come of this.
I missed it live too. I saw the replays and I had to ask what was going on. To me, it looked like he got pushed a little bit. What I saw that he could potentially get some flack for. When he turned back around, he pushed the ref, and the ref was right in front of him.
Oh, he was pushing everybody. He was pushing coaches, referees, ripping his helmet off, uncalled for.
Yeah, I mean, You know, dude was frustrated. I really wanted to see him get the ball in the Wildcat after he took that one down inside the 5, and I wanted him to get in the end zone one last
Michael
time.
James says, "Is that a Talkin VAWLS hoodie, Boogie?" Well, yes, it is, Michael. Thanks for asking. You can pick one up. All the links are in the description. Bonfire.com. Look, JP's rocking one too. Bonfire.com/Talkin VAWLS 3.
Courtesy of Wayne Shelton.
Oh, shout out to Wayne Shelton for buying you one. I don't know why he won't buy me and Dobber one. Whatever, Wayne. But yeah, Dobber, I think your stream was a little behind us because Eric Gray had already scored, and you're like, they need to go Wildcat here. And I'm like, what, for the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, well, we noticed that on the Bama full game stream that we did.
Yeah, for sure.
But hey, I didn't have to dig around for the game when it came back from weather delays. So,
well, if the SEC network would communicate better, I wouldn't have to either. Rev Ryan Hoskins says JP is 1 game away from an orange Gatorade bath.
No, I thought that was after winning three in a row.
I thought so too. I thought if they went 7-5, JP was getting a Gatorade bath at the Talkin VAWLS.
I'm pretty sure it was winning out the regular season.
I hope you're ready, JP.
We'll have to dig back through the archives and check that out. But
no, we won't. We'll just go ahead and announce it now.
So
how about we do that?
We're going live from.
It's cold
Boogie's
outside.
From Boogie's phone at JP's house with the orange Gatorade.
I hope it is snowing that night.
IC86 wants to
pneumonia.
know what. IC86 wants to know what hoodie Dobber's rocking.
Not a hoodie, but just a Tennessee football sweatshirt. I did pick up a new hat.
Dude, you really do know Wayne Shelton, don't you?
Who?
Do you really know Wayne Shelton, JP?
Who, me?
Yeah. Or is he just a Talkin VAWLS listener? He's just a Talkin VAWLS listener.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Tammy D says, not Gatorade, Powerade. No, he's getting Gatorade. Getting a Gatorade bath. Oh, goodness. We got, I'm trying to follow all of this. We got 122 people listening across all the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Go subscribe all across the board. Come hang out. If you want to do super chats, you got to be on YouTube, S&B Network. Make sure you subscribe. Man, as much as this game was, it just felt so boring to me. This whole game, beginning to end, felt just stale. Obviously, the bright spot, Eric Gray. I was so frustrated with the SEC network and the way all that went down. The end of the game, I was half paying attention. I don't know where Eric Gray ended up. I know he had 181 yards rushing in the first half, set the record for single game rushing yards for a Tennessee freshman, and also the longest rush from scrimmage for an SEC freshman, if I'm not mistaken. Did you guys know where he ended up with rushing yards?
230 some, wasn't it?
Did he crack the top 10 for all-time rushing yards in a single game? Do you know? Man, I wouldn't put you guys on the spot or not.
That was the longest run in 42 years. So that was the longest Tennessee run that I ever witnessed.
Well, they had a 99-yard run, what, in the 70s?
Yeah, I think like 77 or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet.
Still, this is excitement. This is excitement. This is what we want in a running back. And what's this offensive line going to look like next year? If Kennedy comes back, the 2 freshmen come back, any chance? We kind of talked about it Wednesday, so we're beating a dead horse here. Kalen, oh man, I can't pronounce the name. Says 25 carries, 246 yards. Any chance Trey Smith comes back next year at all?
9.9 yards a carry. I mean, I'd be surprised if he does. I think he probably needs to go.
Unless
try to get paid.
Unless he gets something, when he's evaluated, and there's some teams that are a little hesitant just with his health. Man, I'd love to see him come back. I know he is like Jennings. He is a Tennessee guy, and he loves the Vols. I mean, with his health, I think if he has the opportunity, I think he's gonna take that.
And you can't blame him for that. Trip Pugh comes in with a $5 super chat. Thank you for the support. We appreciate that. He says, Gray looks great. Need to invest in wide receivers. Losing Callaway and Jennings. Recruiting is key. I'm in Central Florida, so I can definitely make a bowl game. You make some good points there, Trip. We appreciate the support. If you guys are listening, again, we're going live across all social media tonight. So if you want to get involved, you want to drop your chat so we read it on air, you got to come find us on YouTube at the S&B Network. Subscribe to the channel. Come hang out, and we'll read your super chats on air. But he makes some good points there. How do the Vols find a way? And I don't think they really utilize Callaway as much as they could have or should have. Obviously, they did Jennings. On my phone, if you type in the word slant, the word to Jennings comes up automatically next. But I think they utilized him well this year. How do you replace those two guys? How do you replace those two guys moving forward?
Well, I mean, we touched on it Wednesday. You've got Palmer coming back, and I think he's going to be the one to step in, be your number one. And then you've got Brandon Johnson, who took a red shirt this year. He'll be a red shirt senior coming up, and he's been kind of one of those that he's made some plays. He's got potential. You've got Keaton. You've got a couple guys that have potential to come in and, listen. If Garantano comes back and he's dealing like he did last week at Missouri, I mean, throw any of them out there, and we recruit athletes. We've got the kid that transferred in from Georgia, D'Angelo Gibbs, is it?
Yeah.
He'll be eligible to play next year. I mean, it's not like we're losing every single wide receiver and they're going to have to pull people out of the student section to catch balls. But we are losing two guys that are immensely talented and frankly have been underutilized. That there was so much more potential. Like you said, Callaway. I mean, look at last week. Look at the Auburn game last year. The dude is a beast on 50-50 balls. You throw it to where he's the only one that has a chance to get it. Half the time he's coming down with it. I'm excited for next year. There's potential, but I'm excited that this team has another month of practice and that we will be bowling. And I'm excited that, we've stacked a couple games together because that's signs of a team that is growing and learning how to win. We talked about last week. That game should have been way more lopsided than it was, but we still made some mistakes and some errors, but we still found a way to win. Tonight, I think it's the same thing. We didn't have our best offensive night apart from Gray. And like JP said, if he doesn't bust those two long runs, where are we at, man? It's pretty close to a tie game. Yeah. I mean, there's not much offense rolling outside of the plays from Gray. So, but we found those plays happened. That there was good blocking. They sealed the edges, made the holes for him, and the athlete made the play. So
I think the offensive line did a good job too on those plays, getting to the second level. You could see him rubbing off blocks, getting to the second level. Scott Huff drops a $30 super chat. Doesn't say a word, just says cheers to the working man. Here's a $30 tip to the Talkin VAWLS crew. We appreciate that support. Definitely, Scott. Thank you for that. But like Dauber said, it's execution across the board. Everybody puts a hat on a hat. You got linemen getting to the second level, making blocks. And Eric Gray made a nice cutback on that long run to get to the end zone. Nice cutback and had speed to finish the run. It is what it is. We kind of talked about it the last couple of weeks, man. This Tennessee team they've still not played a complete game. They have not played a complete game, but guess what? They're finding a way to win football games. And that's what you have to do. That's been the problem the last few years is you've lost 3 in a row to Vanderbilt, and we're complaining in a game that we had no trouble taking care of business. Tennessee, it was never in doubt. They started slow, but it was really never in doubt. It's hard to complain about that where we've been the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is, because none of us thought that we'd be sitting here at 7-5 after starting out 0-2 for sure. None of us thought that, but still a very, very inconsistent football team. I mean, that's what tonight. Yes, I know that the weather was bad and so forth like that, but the start of that game, or really the entire game, Garantano was off. Now whether or not it has something to do with his passing of his grandmother, maybe so. But it was very frustrating to see how that they were able to pass against Missouri, and then tonight it was just a totally different game for sure. But we got to win. We beat them by 18, so move on. But I tell you though, it just left a real sour taste in my mouth after seeing what Jennings did there. That's just very, very disappointing. And I know there's people saying that he didn't do it on intentional. I'm not sure that I'm buying that.
Dauber?
Crickets.
I was waiting on Dauber to go.
Sorry, I was following some chat there. Yeah, I mean it is a bad look anytime something like that happens. I don't know. I've not seen anything on Twitter about it yet. So I mean we'll see. Can the SEC step in and do something?
I mean, I don't know.
When there wasn't
there wasn't a penalty or anything,
a flag thrown. I mean, and when stuff happens on the sideline like that, on the bench, it's so hard to see and know everything that happened. But yeah, I mean, I hate when a game is overshadowed by cheap shots and just Bush League bad play like that.
Yeah, and what would make it even worse is if it cost him his final game, bowl game. After everything that he's been through and came back from down there.
Do you think they can do that though? When
the
play is not even flagged, that's a bad look.
Well, I mean, I'm not even saying it, but what if Pruitt and Fulmer are like, this is not a
good representation
of our
of
our football team, and what we're going to stand for. I mean, at some point in time, you have to draw the line, and so I don't know what'll end up happening. I mean, it's too early to say right now, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear something about it in another few days, probably.
We got 108 people hanging out on YouTube. You guys make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. It's not too late to share out the link. It's early in the show. We got 122 hanging out across 4 platforms of social media. The goal is to build a brand across Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, anywhere and everywhere. Let's grow the Talkin VAWLS brand. If you guys want to pick up a Talkin VAWLS shirt, all the links are in the description. We got the t-shirt. We got the hoodies that me and JP are rocking tonight. We got the cartoon face. We got the cartoon face t-shirts. If you're interested in that, you can go pick those up. But we appreciate all your support. We appreciate you guys just hanging out with us. Just help us out. Just smash the like button. That's all you have to do. How about Alabama dropping one to Auburn? Dude, that game was back and forth. Like, I wasn't watching it. I was just getting the score updates and following it throughout the game. But glad to see Alabama lose.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy. In fact, I think Darinoko or whatever, when he kept coming in with the updates, he even said, I think I'm talking more than you guys, just because the Tennessee game was so in the middle after we did the majority of our scoring. Both offensives just went silent pretty much until they're late in the game. How about we talked a little bit earlier about the running backs. Chandler didn't even get a carry tonight.
Nope.
Didn't get a touch.
I don't know if he was hurt or what.
Would you have put him in the way Eric Gray was running the ball?
No, but I mean that's the thing. It's just weird. Gray got 25 touches. Jordan got 11.
It just seems to me that Pruitt I'm going to go with the hot hand, and I like that. How many times did we complain over the last few years that why are freshmen not getting in? Why is this guy not getting in? Why is that guy not getting in? Whereas Pruitt does not seem to care. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, offensive line, he does not care. He's going to roll with the hot hand. And I dig it. I dig that.
Yeah, and that's just think if Pruitt was there when Kamara was there.
Yeah. You don't think he would have been on the field?
Yeah.
Awkward silence again. What a great start to this podcast.
Well, I'm looking at some of these posts here. Troy wants to fire Saban.
We can get that trending, probably.
Who wants him? He can't even count. That was hilarious. That was hilarious to see that game end that way. Oh, he was so mad. It was hilarious. I loved it. Loved it. Butch Jones to Missouri. Yeah, that was odd. I didn't see him getting fired today for sure. I never
Especially
thought that
the way they started the season, you would have never thought in a million years that he would have got fired this season.
I mean, of course, I know that they started 5-1 and then that they went 6-6, but of course they're not eligible for the bowl because of those sanctions or whatever.
Right.
But
oh man, wouldn't that be something if they did hire Butch and he retained Dooley?
Never going to happen. No way that would happen.
Then you'd have 3 cast-off Tennessee coaches at Missouri because Konzo's still there, isn't he, in basketball?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Speaking of basketball, how about the BAWLS today?
Oh man.
Huge win for Turner, or well, not a win for Turner, but a huge shot.
Yeah.
He's been struggling big time.
Especially after the game yesterday.
Yeah.
Man,
that was brutal watching that one yesterday.
25 turnovers.
Yeah.
Oh man, and to still only lose by 3.
Yeah.
That
was a tough one to lose, but
they're a good team, but like we talked about on our basketball show a couple weeks ago, I think this team is going to come and go as Turner and Bowden come and go. And if they're not hitting shots, if they're not the ones scoring, I think they're going to struggle. I've still been impressed with Pons and his offensive emergence. Fulkerson has played pretty well. He's still just he's not that big body that we need down low to bang around, and he needs to stay out of foul trouble.
We're going to struggle against big teams.
Yeah,
we seen that last night against Florida State. Excuse me,
easy killer.
I think that what Florida State, they were saying, it is like the longest team. They have more height than on their roster than any other team this year. So we're going to struggle with that. I think Fulkerson bounced back today though and had 17 points. So
when I saw he was at like 13 or 15 or something.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he went for 17 points and seven boards. So that was a heck of a day.
That's good. Yeah. I really like to see that because last year, even though he played some big minutes, his mentality was not offensive first. I mean, it was basically like playing with 4 on the offensive side of the ball. And that hurt us at times, even with the team we had last year. But I'm glad to see him kind of stepping out and taking some shots and making them because we're going to need him and need the ball to go through him to be successful.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see if this I do have the hiccups, or I did. I think that it'll be interesting to see this point guard that's coming in from Uruguay or wherever he's from. I'd say that it's probably unrealistic to expect him to step right in, but who knows? Maybe come late February or March, tournament time. Maybe he's got a feel of the offense because I've watched some of his videos, where he's playing over there in Australia in that NBA camp or whatever it is, and I mean he looks fantastic. So that's huge.
Are they going to give him the Euro step when he gets over
I
here?
don't
Though
know. I don't know. I don't know if they will that or not. So,
well, just piggybacking off of that, we gave you a little preview of kind of what we'll be doing when JP and I get rolling with the Talkin VAWLS basketball show. We're probably gonna do what did we say this Wednesday? You got a time? You want to give a time?
I don't know. Was we going to try to go after the game?
After the game?
Yeah, because they play Florida A&M, I think, at 7 Wednesday. So yeah,
we'll
we can try to
do after the game this coming Wednesday, and we'll get you some more information on when we will kind of start on a regular basis. We kind of figured that once SEC play started, we'd get rolling pretty much weekly and nail down a definite night of the week and time. In between now and the bowl game, we will have a few special videos dropping and maybe a recruiting roundup at the early signing period, as well as a bowl preview. Speaking of bowl preview, what do you guys think?
Well, see, I mean, definitely, I think now that Bama is out, so I guess that they'll go to one of those New Year's Six bowls.
Yeah, that's going to kind of knock Tennessee down some. Bama losing today.
So where does Auburn end up? Probably the Citrus Bowl, probably. So then who ends up in the Outback Bowl? I think that's the big question there. Who ends up in the Outback Bowl? What's the last I saw, Texas A&M was absolutely getting destroyed by LSU.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
So there's been talk. I saw some stuff that Texas Bowl was wanting Texas and Texas A&M, and if that happens, I think that there's a really good possibility that Tennessee could end up in Tampa for the Outback Bowl. And against who? I don't know. I mean, will Michigan fall that far? Will Minnesota? They were getting shellacked there.
They got beat.
They lost today.
So they've lost 3 now, right?
No, 2. That wasn't their second loss.
Yeah,
it was their.
No, I thought it was their second. Where's Robert Craig at? How about where's Minnesota at? Robert Craig, where you at?
I called that those losses.
I would love for Tennessee to get their hands on Minnesota. A 2-loss Minnesota team. I would love that matchup.
But before the Tennessee game started, I was flipping around and got sucked into the Indiana-Purdue game that went into overtime just because Indiana had been mentioned as a possible bowl opponent for Tennessee. They looked horrible.
Yeah, I think Tennessee would mop the floor with India. Well, I don't know. I say that, but the way they played today, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but the way they played last week,
the way their defense is playing, they could beat any of these teams we're talking about. But the problem is the offense. The offense has to do something. You can't. Vanderbilt's run defense is the worst in the conference. So you can't expect. Tennessee struggled to run the ball all year, and even still today. You take away those 2 runs, Tennessee didn't run the football that effectively overall. You take away those 2 long runs that Eric Gray had, that's 160 yards of offense and 2 carries. So I don't know. It depends on what Tennessee shows up. Robert Craig says JP was correct. I told you to. Don't act like I didn't tell you, Robert. Don't act
correct on the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Brandon Up says JP with the hot Wisconsin. Did all you people believe that Minnesota was so good? I don't understand.
God, I wish I'd have bet.
Oh God, I know you say you drop common sense on the podcast, and all these people are like, "Oh my gosh, hot breaking news." I don't get it, man.
I just wasn't sold on the Golden Gophers. They hadn't
who
played
could be? Who could be?
There was some people claiming that they was going to beat Ohio State, and I'm like, get out of here. Who does Ohio State have next Saturday in the Big Ten championship game?
Who
are they playing? Is that Iowa?
Yeah, who beat Minnesota today?
Wisconsin.
It's Wisconsin, then, isn't it?
Okay, so it's Wisconsin. I don't even know how
I'm pretty sure the winner of that was going.
Okay.
Man, I think UT Tanner said earlier, this game today was so disappointing that we're not even talking about it. We're talking about Big Ten football here on Talkin VAWLS. What is happening? Tennessee goes 7-5 after a horrible start, and we're talking about the basketball team and Big Ten football. What the heck? Talking Big Ten.
There you go.
Big Ten.
There's my notes.
Finished with 7.
Finished with 7 W's, and that's what we did.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. I
said, they've been so disappointing the last few weeks, but yet they find a way to win. And that's what this team has to do. Find a way to win the games you're supposed to win. And that's where we're at.
Well, and it's you've got to beat the teams that are beatable on your schedule.
The Mississippi States, the South Carolinas, the Vanderbilts, the Missouris, the Kentuckys. Yeah. And that's what they did. They took care of business in November.
That's the hallmark of Tennessee football of old.
Yep.
Winning out in November and prepping for your bowl game.
So what do we do? Thank you, Davis0221, for following us on Twitch. Thank you, Fears Cadell, for following us on Twitch. Guys, you don't just have to listen to the show on YouTube now. It's available on Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube, Periscope, all over the place on social media. So thanks for all the follows. So what does Tennessee have to do next year? They took care of business in November. You got to find a way to turn the corner. And now you got to start find a way to beat the Floridas and the Georgias and dare I say, the Alabamas. Is that the next step? Is that what Jeremy Pruitt has to do in year 3? For us to say
recruit, develop.
Well, you can recruit till you're blue in the face, but until you win on the field, it doesn't matter. So what do you want next year, JP? What do you want? When can we say that Jeremy Pruitt is the guy? What does he have to do in year 3?
Win all of the games that you're supposed to win, which he didn't do this year.
Nope.
And find a way to be more competitive with the Floridas and the Georgias and the Bamas.
As bad as it is to say, what would your mindset be right now if he had beat Georgia State and BYU and they were 9-3 and going to a bowl game? What would your mindset be?
Knowing that they got blowed out by Florida.
Yep,
and
nothing changes. They beat Georgia State and they beat BYU 9-3, year 2.
I mean, I would feel better about it, obviously, because number one, I feel like that we would probably be getting ready to sign a better recruiting class.
Yep. Yep.
I still can't let go of the fact of those 2 losses cost us several players this cycle.
Yeah, it's when we lost and how we lost. For me, if we would have won those 2 games, I'd be sitting here rubbing it in because I called 9-3 as a ceiling for this team. But now, I mean, for going into next year, what I want to see is this team play a complete game, because like you alluded to earlier, Boogie, they've still yet to play an entire full game, complete, clean on all 3 phases of the ball. You know, I mean, tonight we touched on the Jennings thing, extracurricular stuff on the sidelines, on special teams. We've talked about offense all year. Defensively, you know, we've had games where we've struggled. We got gashed by the run a couple times. Mobile quarterbacks have kind of eaten us alive a little bit. But listen, I mean, we're still – we need to go back to the fact that, like Troy Lee brings up right here, Pruitt took over an absolute mess. We said, 3 to 5 year process to flip this roster and turn this team around. And it's not just the roster and the players, it's the mentality and the culture that has plagued this program for the better part of 20 years now. The downfall of this program to where we're competing with the teams like South Carolina, Kentucky, Florida, or Kentucky, Missouri, Vanderbilt for these recruits. Those are the guys that we're competing for recruiting, not the guys that are going to Florida and LSU and Georgia and Alabama. Although Pruitt has turned that around. He's starting to get some of those guys, looking over here and saying, we've got something going. And I've touched on it before. That's the thing that excites me is not necessarily just the recruits, but the coaches that he's bringing in, the staff that he's assembling. All these guys are about development of players, and we're seeing that. We are seeing the fruits of that on the field right now, where that has lacked the last couple of years. That was a constant problem with Butch Jones coach teams, the development and the lack of, you'd have somebody come in with such a high ceiling and they would plateau. And then guys that were just kind of okay would not get any better.
It's frustrating seeing those guys when they get to the next level.
Oh, well,
they go to the NFL. Kamara. We talked about it earlier.
Not even that. You look at guys that transferred out and had success in other programs.
The Nathan Petermans.
Yeah, Peterman, Riley Ferguson at Memphis, the wide receiver that went to Colorado and set NCAA records. He was a 4 or 5 star kid.
Yeah, he plays for the Dolphins now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's things like that we saw with the former staff. You had all this talent that didn't necessarily fit the system, but you didn't alter the system to use that talent. You have guys sitting on the bench like Kamara who are absolute athletic specimens not being used. But with Pruitt and this current staff, like tonight, man, Gray, nobody better. And I think that's, like we talked about, that's why he saw 20 some carries tonight.
Well, it's why I asked you guys. I said, is he going to put Maurer in? Would you put Maurer in here? Because Pruitt has shown he does not care. He will do whatever he thinks is the best thing to do to win the game. And that's why it would not have surprised me at all for him to put Maurer in the game. Let me hit this super chat from Rick and Melissa. Guys, we are live for the first time ever across Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, all across all of social media. But if you want to get into the party, you got to come to YouTube, subscribe to the S&B Network. That microphone won't blare your ears, I promise. Come hang out on the S&B Network. You can drop super chats, guaranteed to have your comment read on air. Rick and Melissa, $4.99 super chat. We appreciate the support. Says, great work this season, guys. Go Big Orange. Well, yeah, we appreciate that comment, but we appreciate your all support because this is your show. This show would not function without the Talkin VAWLS Nation. We appreciate you guys showing up each and every week. Guys like Tajon Washington, guys like Brandon Opp, Wayne Shelton, Robert Craig. Hillbilly Sportsman is here. Dauber's microphone is shorting out, but we are here hanging out. We appreciate all of the support. My good friend, good friend, Pecan is here. He is one of my favorites. Dropping a $5 super chat, says, man, Dauber's microphone is going nuts. We're going to have to kill him.
What is it?
I keep hearing feedback in my ear.
I'm not hearing anything.
I can hear it. I don't know what it is.
Let's hit the super chat. Pecan for $5 says, Butch Jones was able to get a lot of top-rated recruits. A lot of them were ESPN favorites. Being a high school stud, does it always transfer to college? Well, I think that goes back to what Dauber just hit on with development. You have to be able to develop that talent. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Gate City Blue Devil drops a $15 super chat. We appreciate the support. It's the last Talkin VAWLS football show until the bowl game. So you guys get it in. We appreciate the support. He says this $15 is for Jawan. It was kind of sad, man, watching the senior day festivities because of the weather. It kind of put a damper on it. You know, I saw the video of Jawan coming out stadiums half full. They pulled the crowd out right around the time they did the senior day stuff. Kind of sucks, man, for those guys.
Hey, at least it wasn't as
unfortunate.
At least it wasn't as bad as Vandy's crowd last week.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean,
that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. A Vanderbilt team that beat Tennessee 3 years in a row.
Yeah, and
that's the thanks they get. That's the thanks they get. Look like less than a high school game. Look like a middle school game.
Yeah. Mike Rambo asking, will we do a tailgate show for the bowl game?
I'm pretty sure that'll probably happen.
Yeah, that's more than likely going to happen. Tailgate show was one of my favorites this year.
We had some good times.
I like the post games. I like our regular Wednesday stuff, but man, just laid back, chilling, talking about whatever.
There's something fun about knowing that it's not going to get uploaded to the podcast platform and it's not an official show. And we just show up and it's just which we're us being us on this show too. It is what it is, but there's something fun about that tailgate show. Joel saying, I'm seeing a lot of names I've never seen before. I feel like you guys are saying thank you for a year's worth of Talkin VAWLS. Joel Sane with a $10 super chat just says, cheers to the working man. There's no comment. You guys are awesome. We appreciate your support.
I'm not going to lie. It has been a struggle here a few times for Talkin VAWLS. A little tense at times.
Oh, wow. We're going to go there?
But I was ready to quit the first the first game of the season.
JP was done after Georgia State. What are you talking about?
You weren't even here, Dauber. I had to make him record.
I know.
People thought you got fired. Let me say something about that Kentucky post-game show. When you turned off your camera, people in the live chat were saying, this is bullcrap. This is censorship, Boogie. You're kicking him off the show. I didn't do it. He left. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. I don't censor anybody.
I came back. You've muted me before.
As a gag, I would never kick you off the show for real unless you mean mugged me and stared at me. You were real close that time.
No, but
I may have to go back and watch that first.
Don't do it. Oh, that Georgia State game?
Yeah,
it's real depressing.
Georgia State.
It's just me and you, man. It's so depressing.
I just wonder how many times that I said Pruitt won't make it. Pruitt won't make it. He's done.
Wayne Shelton said this is fun, except when Boogie went off. You know what's funny about that? A lot of people love that show. I'm not proud of it. We went off air. I got so many comments. I almost came on that Wednesday. Dauber and JP did a basketball show. I almost came on to make a statement and apologize because it was weird, man, because when we went off air, I immediately apologized to Dauber and JP both. And we were cool. But for the next 7 days, I got hate mail, man. You talk about Jarrett Garantano. I didn't get death threats, but I got some legit hate mail that impacted me as a human being. I was upset about it. And that's not a look that I want on this podcast. So when you guys didn't like it, it affected me, man. But like, look, I knew I was cool with you guys. We ironed it out. Everything was good. But every day something new came in, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. Bottom line is, Talkin VAWLS is family. We're gonna fight. It's not the first time. That was not the first time that me and JP have fought on air. It's happened multiple times that anybody that's been here since day one. You can say it's not a good look, Tammy D. It ain't the first time. We've been here, done that. This is what Talkin VAWLS is. When you want us to record live after the games, you're getting an uncut, unfiltered look into Talkin VAWLS. You guys say
I actually thought that you and I had more probably tense conversations when we were just doing the audio.
No doubt. I know for a fact we did.
Yeah, we used to go at it on that one.
The difference was back then you came back at me. The bad look of Kentucky was you kind of just folded and sat back and didn't say anything, so people didn't like it. That's the difference. We've had some big time arguments. Hillbilly Sportsman said, that hurt the channel, Boogie. Sorry, buddy, you're wrong. Subscribers went through the roof that week. So I get why you guys didn't like it. I apologize for it. I'm not going to do it again, but subscribers skyrocketed that week. So don't say it's bad for the channel.
But that's the thing. The like you said, after we went off air, it was over and it was done, and everybody was good. Immediately.
Yeah. That's the first thing I said when we ended the show. I apologize to both of you guys.
but that's what you get from us and on Talkin VAWLS. It is authentic. It's who we are. The things we talk about are the things that we would be talking about if we weren't online. But we like to get on here and share our opinions, hear your opinions, get your questions. That's what makes this this group that we have so awesome, and that's what makes this platform.
Robert Craig says they started a We Hate Boogie Club. Look, the statement I was going to make, and I'm going to make it now because I'm going to get real sappy and real emotional and real weird, and you guys are going to be like, "Oh, I can't hate Boogie anymore." What I was going to say when I came back is no matter how much I came at Dauber, no matter how much I came at JP started this thing. JP came to me and said, "Hey, let's do a Tennessee football podcast." And JP has been here from the beginning. Dauber, I've known Dauber since we were about 5 years old. When I lost my mom 2 years ago, Dauber was the guy that I leaned on. Dauber was there for me more than any other than my wife, probably more than anybody when I went through that. And some of you guys in the live chat that have been with Talkin VAWLS from the beginning, you remember those shows. You remember when my mom was laying in a hospital bed dying and I couldn't do the podcast. And it was JP and Armaine rolling through without me. And Dauber was there for me, man. He was there. He was there from beginning to end through that situation. And he was a friend to lean on. So when you guys come at me and say, "Oh, you're too mean to Dauber," Dauber knows me. He knows me more than all of you guys do. He knows me as much as anybody. We are good. We are good. Let me hit this super chat. Brandon Opp. How about that real life stuff right there coming at you guys hard on the season finale of Talkin VAWLS. Brandon Opp with a $25 super chat. Says it's been a fun year, boys. JP meltdowns. Dauber has a voice. Drinks on me.
Here.
At the Christmas party. Cheers to that. I'll drink to that. Yep. Can't wait to the Christmas party. It's going to be good times. Man, here's another super chat. Cody McElroy says, being from South Alabama, it was a good day. We beat Candy and Bama lost. JP, how good did it feel today when Alabama lost? Just a little icing on the cake?
Yeah, definitely. Anytime that Bama loses, it's good. It doesn't matter. Anytime that bunch loses. And in the fashion that they did, the coaching staff, Saban, everybody anoints him as the king of college coaches, 12 players on the field. He got out coached. I hope all them bandwagon Bammers have got all their Walmart gear on and just celebrating. They're probably beating each other up.
I was going to ask you if you were pulling for the Knowles, but
what's the score of that game?
That's a lost cause.
Is it bad?
30-7.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm almost out of steam. I just poured my heart out. I got a thumbs down. I got a thumbs down for pouring my heart out. You guys make sure you smash the like button. Let's fix that person that doesn't like Talkin VAWLS.
Hey, we've had our ups and downs. Boogie and I have rolled around on a hotel floor in Myrtle Beach before.
Oh, careful how you mention that.
and he still contends that I ended up getting.
Robert Craig, where you at? What happened to Dauber in the floor of the hotel room? Robert was there.
I don't think I was snoring.
Robert, was he snoring or not?
But admit this though, I'm not going to say you're a trained professional, but
that's a way exaggeration. Let's calm down.
But you have been to classes and know things. I rolled around with you more than you thought I would.
No comment.
What are you talking about? That darn doing that wrestling stuff?
Yeah,
I've seen Boogie and Robert in the parking garage in Knoxville. Darn rolling around, have darn blood all over their elbows and stuff.
Now, Bobby Taco says that sounded pretty gay. What's going on here?
I did suplex him into the coffee table and leave a big dent in his shin.
I still have a scar on my skin. No one special says, what happened in Myrtle Beach stays in Myrtle Beach. What is going on Talkin VAWLS this week? I feel like you guys want the real thing. You're getting the real thing. Oh, goodness.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Hey, you can expect all that and more at at the meet and greet.
The meet and greet. Who's going to be at the meet? I want to find out now. In the meet and greet, the meet and greet is going to take place in East Tennessee, either Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol, somewhere in East Tennessee. If you're going to make it to the meet and greet next year for the home opener, put a 1 in the live chat. I want to see this because some people are saying they're buying plane tickets to come in to the Talkin VAWLS meet and greet. It's going to be at a brewery. We're ironing out the details, but the plan is to get together an hour before kickoff, drink some beer, hang out, and just talk to you guys. Dauber's going to be there.
I'll be there.
Guess
I
what?
will be there.
UT Tanner's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Bryant Rockwell's hanging out on Periscope and says, hey, Periscope is cool. Go Big Orange. Told you guys, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch. But if you want to get in on the chat, you got to be on YouTube at the S&B Network. No matter where you're at, make sure you subscribe to the channel. A lot of ones coming in. Lots of ones.
I'm going to need some education here. What is Twitch?
I think it's more for like video games and stuff, but I just set up an account just so we could stream to there as well.
Okay.
So it is what it is. But we've been a little higher than YouTube all night long. So Wayne Shelton says win Boogie. Okay, look, I'm going to drop a bombshell on you guys. It's going to be at the Model City Tap House in Kingsport, Tennessee. It is a brewery in downtown Kingsport, Tennessee for the home opener against Charlotte. We will get together about an hour before kickoff, and that'll be for the home opener next year, Charlotte. So come hang out. There it is. That's it. We announced it. It's official. It's got to happen now.
You better, yeah. You better hope that your buddy doesn't back out on that.
Dude, he gave me his business card. He said it was all good. We can hang out. It's going to be fun, man. I'm looking for. I think we should give name tags out. As goofy as that sounds, for all of the YouTube listeners, I want them to have their screen names on a name tag so we know who they are. I think it'll be cool. Wayne Shelton says, I will fly up unless I'm dead. Wow.
Awesome. That is dedication right there, Wayne.
This has been a real weird show tonight.
So who do you guys have in the playoffs?
Well, who do we have winning the SEC championship game next Saturday?
LSU. I think.
No chance.
See, you got what? LSU, Ohio State, Alabama blew it tonight. Clemson. Who's the fourth, though?
Well, if LSU beats Georgia,
Ohio State,
you're probably looking at Oklahoma if they win out, which they've still got to win tonight against Oklahoma State, and then they got to win the Big 12 championship game against Baylor, I think, which is a rematch.
Did you say Ohio State?
Well, I mean, they're ranked 1, so unless Wisconsin beats them, which I think. Here's wouldn't this be crazy? Because I think Wisconsin has more than one loss. I'm pretty sure. So
they had 2 because they played Minnesota today, who had 1. And then they beat Minnesota. Yeah.
So wouldn't this be crazy? Say that Wisconsin comes up and beats Ohio State next week in the Big Ten championship game, but Ohio State ends up getting into the college football playoff over the conference champion. That would be pretty embarrassing for the college football playoff. But I'd say that would happen. I would think that it would for sure.
Wouldn't be the first time you get into the playoff without winning your conference.
Well, I know, but usually when that's happened, it's been the second, the loser of the SEC championship game, or in Bama's case, they didn't even make it a championship game, but they only had one loss. But this would be where the conference champion doesn't even make it to the college football playoff, but the team that finished runner-up in the championship game does. Yeah. I don't think that's ever happened at all, for sure.
It's weird though, because you can complain about it and you can fuss about it, but then you go to the NFL. It's like, okay, well, let's make it 8. 8's the only way you can make it fair. You got to go 8. But when you go and look at the NFL playoffs, the division champions don't always win the playoffs. Hockey, basketball, anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the more you expand it, the more you have that chance of that happening. But I still prefer. I think at 8.
Look at the World Series this year.
Yeah.
Nationals were the wild card team.
Well,
I like an 8-team playoff though. That's what I want.
Look at the NCAA
With the
tournament
balls
in
one
basketball.
of the 8's what I want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Look at basketball. I mean that's
why 64 teams.
Yeah, I mean that's why March Madness is so fun to watch, because it does kind of equalize things, and you do get. Of course, basketball is a completely different dynamic than football. But yeah, I don't know. The reason I think Georgia doesn't have a chance, and I lost the live comments. Somebody was saying that they do. They had Swift going out hurt tonight, and then the kid that got tossed for throwing a punch, the wide receiver. So he'll be out the first half. They've had struggles all season long offensively, except when they played us. I just LSU has looked so good. I don't see Georgia. If Swift is hurt bad enough to be hampered by that shoulder, and he's not 100%, their offense is really going to struggle. Fromm has not been as good as he has the last couple of years. I know I watched a little bit of that Georgia Tech game, and they were talking about his numbers are good, but offensively as a team, they're not scoring as much and blah, blah, blah. But I just think that you're missing a couple key players. You got a couple key players dinged up. LSU's rolling. That's why I give LSU the nod on that.
It'll be interesting because Georgia's defense is legit, but I just don't think that their offense will be able to keep up with what that they're going to have to do. So, especially like you said, with Swift being hurt, and I don't know. I mean, is he out? Is that an injury that he's probably going?
They said it was
a shoulder.
Cager's
out. He was out today. He hurt. He got hurt in practice, and then that other kid got caught for fighting. So he's out at least the first half. So, that'll be interesting to see what Fromm does. Will he jump to the NFL? Or will he come back for his senior season?
Do you think he's a first-round draft pick after this year, or do you think he wants to come back? Because, look, he comes from money. So does he need that money, or is it more about legacy and building his brand, per se, and trying to get that first-round draft pick and coming back for a senior year? Because the kid loves Georgia, and he's a good dude, man. I like Jake Fromm. I do. I really do. I hate Georgia, but I think he's a good kid.
So we got ESPN running with the Jennings stomp.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
That's going to end up. Gosh.
You guys got any final comments before we wrap this thing up and get out of here?
Pick the score for the SEC championship game. Just throw something out there.
Let's see. Putting us on the spot, JP.
Yeah, what the heck, man? What are you hosting this show? What's wrong with you?
Just throw it out there.
We'll
see. We'll see who's closer. We can have bragging rights.
I'm gonna go LSU 24, Georgia 14.
That's not a bad pick. I was gonna say that's not a bad pick. I don't know that I could really vary much from that. I think LSU wins. I don't know. Maybe I'll go LSU 24, Georgia 21. A little closer.
I'll go LSU 30, Georgia 21.
Rock and roll. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Talkin VAWLS, the final episode of the regular season. It's almost sad. It's almost sad. Like, I enjoy hanging out with you guys every Wednesday, every Saturday. But the bottom line is JP and Darber are going to roll on. Tune in next Wednesday for the basketball show. Immediately following the game Wednesday, they will be live. And then you guys got to tune in. They're gonna figure it out. They may bounce around some Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, depending on the basketball schedule. So make sure you guys, anybody that's on Facebook Live, if you're on Periscope, if you're on Twitch, make sure you jump in on YouTube. S&B Network, S&B Network. Subscribe to the channel. Come hang out with us. These guys will be live bringing you basketball coverage. We are also going to be dropping videos like Dauber said earlier. We're going to be covering practice. We may throw in some special videos here and there. Hopefully, JP is going to cover recruiting. We want to bring you guys as much coverage as possible. We want to grow this channel. That is the goal. We're sitting around 1,800 subscribers right now. Next year, I want to hit 3,000. I want to hit 3,000 subscribers, and we can only do that with you. We can only do that with the Talkin VAWLS listeners because you guys make this show what it is. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. If you're on Periscope, Twitch, wherever you're at, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Come hang out. All the links are in the description. You want this cool Talkin VAWLS sweatshirt? It's in the description. You want the Talkin VAWLS t-shirt? It's in the description. For Vols JP, for Dauber, my name is Boogie Bentley, and I just got one thing left to say, and that is go Big Orange.
The dogs howl like we poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we draw home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. The dogs howl like we poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit